Hey guys, welcome to another installment of Video Game Pickups. So, first and foremost, before I start this, the reason why I'm not doing this in my room is because, well, it's a bit disorganized right now. So I want to do this in my in the dining room, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. So let's get right into this. So we're gonna start off with the obvious, the PS4 titles. So let's start off with Fallout 4. So I got this. Oh my god! I got this game during during GameStop's after Christmas sale. It was a buy two get one free. I didn't get in on the buy two get one thing because I didn't have enough money. So I also got this new, by the way. So it's new, all that stuff. And let me tell you, I really enjoyed this game. My favorite Fallout game has to this day has to be Fallout 3. And I think in my opinion, it does things better than New Vegas. However, Fallout 4, I don't know how to feel about this. It's a really good game. I don't know. I don't want to make it my favorite. Like it's not because of pure nostalgia, but it's because, well, it does. I have a few problems with the story itself. Now, the story, it's kind of like the format of Fallout 3. You're trying to find your own son in the nuclear wasteland after you escape from a vault. And Fallout 3 has the same thing. You're trying to find your father after you escape from a vault. And I don't know if they messed up right there. Some dude was like, I don't know, some dude suggested that they recycle the story from Fallout 3. I don't know. I don't have a good idea of what they were thinking. But I'm really enjoying all the gameplay elements. They also improved upon the RPG formula seen in previous Fallout games, especially the old Fallout games like Fallout 2. I remember Fallout Tactics. I actually played that on my PC a while back. But all in all, Fallout 4 is a very good game. So next game we have here is Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Everyone was hyped up for this. We hadn't seen a Ninja Storm games in I'd say a few years. But when we finally got the announcement that Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 was coming to the PlayStation 4, everyone was excited. They wanted to see all the new Shippuden characters, and everyone also wanted to see the final fight between Sasuke and Naruto, which, let me tell you, it was a pretty epic fight. Especially should I spoil? I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for you, but that fight is also included in the game. As a matter of fact, they even advertised it on the back of the box too, because they knew fans wanted to see the final confrontation between Naruto and Sasuke. So another thing I wanted to talk about this game was the fighting game engine. It's really good. It improved upon Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. It also still has the behind the back perspective seen in other anime fighting games like the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi games. Um, also get to unleash your jutsu, stuff like that. You can even use various items in battle like shurikens, kunais. Those little not smoke bomb things. These little mines that you lay out in the field. They're like balloons, and they explode upon like when someone touches them or gets near them, stuff like that. And the online of this game is awesome. I love it. It's just my one problem with the online is that the netcode could be improved just a little bit. I experienced lag, but not a whole lot of lag where it became a huge prominent problem. But still, the online was amazing. Next we have here is Lego Marvel Superheroes. Now, one thing I love about the Lego games is that they're more than just action adventure games where you're just going around and beating the crap out of these bad guys they send after you. The Lego games are also where you're using your head to solve puzzles throughout the world, and you're also using your mind to solve the puzzles during boss fight. And I love boss fights that force you to solve puzzles and do all that stuff instead of just having you mash on a single button or just use some kind of specific attack after finding out their weaknesses. Stuff like that. And Marvel Superheroes is no different. And instead of you just playing as just the Avengers, one of the most popular superheroes in Marvel, you also get to play as other superheroes in the Marvel universe, such as the Fantastic Four. You also get to play as Deadpool in the game. You can even play as Wolverine. Yeah, you can play as Wolverine. And I'm sad that you don't get to play as Gambit from the X-Men franchise, because Gambit is one of my favorite Marvel supervillains. Well, not supervillains. He's I he's sort of, I don't know. He's sort of on the line between a hero and a villain. I guess he's an anti-hero. The reason why I like Gambit is because he tosses out these cards that will explode upon impact, and he also uses this steel staff that where he can fight his enemies with it. And like all in all, he's a really good hero. His story, it could use some work, but still, well, his backstory is what I mean. But he's a great villain, and this is a great game. So next up is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Now, I got this game with the PlayStation 4 bundle that I got on Christmas, and and I remember playing. It brought me back to the days when I used to play Black Ops 2 with my stepbrother, and this is no different. Now I couldn't play online much, mainly because I had a 2-day PlayStation Plus subscription, so I couldn't I could the most I did was just team deathmatch and domination, and on occasion kill confirm. But I really don't play Call of Duty that much. But I enjoyed the online of this game, and the story mode is pretty awesome. As a matter of fact, the story mode of Black Ops 1 is awesome as well, because it's this Cold War drama that's taking place. It has to do with number stations, Morse code, and it has like so many twists and turns I've never seen in a Call of Duty game before. Especially in Call of Duty 4 with that nuclear bomb detonation that you were forced to witness. And I remember Modern Warfare 2, the No Russian mission that no one saw coming. As a matter of fact, Modern Warfare 2 was in the news when it came out in 2009. Yeah, in 2009, after World at War. But Black Ops 3 is also an amazing game, and I also like the follow-up on Black Ops 2 with the story, because although it doesn't have much to do with the Cold War, they do have some backdrops, like with like that raid on that president. What was his name? Noriega. Yeah. But it's a really good story mode. It's pretty intense. I like it. Next we have is Need for Speed Rivals. I'm gonna go up and say it. Need for Speed Rivals feels like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, but it's just a different name. The reason why I say this is because you get to choose to play between a cop and a racer, and both the cop and the racer have, like, you can use this equipment that you can use to, like, stun racers, like get them off the field or set up roadblocks, stuff like that. And I'm just thinking to myself, why wasn't this made into Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 instead of just being called Need for Speed Rivals? I really would have loved to see that. That's probably my only criticism with the game. Well, another one of my criticisms is that it forces multiplayer onto you, because if you're playing the game and you're logged in, you are forced into a room with other players, and that really bothers me a lot. Like, I'd rather play the game by myself than just be in the open world with other players who are going to ram into me or start a police chase for no good reason. Like, yeah, that's the objective of the game, but I'd rather have the choice between a single player room or a multiplayer room than just be forced into it altogether. Because I'm more of a single player guy, but I do like to play the occasional online game, like Battlefield or Call of Duty, something like that. Speaking of Battlefield, I have Star Wars Battlefront by EA. Yeah, I'm not too happy with this game either. Because it was made by DICE, and and people bring up the argument that Star Wars Battlefront is Battlefield with a coat of paint on it, which is a Star Wars theme. You guys get what I'm saying. And here's the thing about it: this game has less content than its previous game did, which was Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2. Now, the PlayStation 2 version had over 30 maps, and it also had a campaign mode. This game has 8 maps and no campaign mode. Yeah, you can play single player, like I forgot what mode you could play, but I think it was some kind of survival mode, but still, it sucked either way. Now, I never got to play much of the multiplayer because, well, actually I never played the multiplayer at all, because I was too lazy to even install the game. And by the time I even installed it, my PlayStation Plus had ran out, so I couldn't play the game altogether. Which I have a question, Sony. Why are they making players pay to play online? It just doesn't make sense to me. The PlayStation 3 had free online. PC has free online. Whereas the 360 and Xbox One have no free online at all. So, and to make matters worse, Sony raised their price, well, raised the price of PlayStation Plus back in, I think it was either September or August. Yeah, I forgot when, but it was between those months. So the next game we have is PlayStation VR Worlds. Now this comes bundled with the PlayStation VR headset as a little disc to test out all these little mini games, kind of like how the Wii comes with Wii Sports. And I think another version, well, when the Wii got re-released, they also included Wii Sports Resort because it had the Wii Motion Plus. But I'm going off on a tangent here. Now this game has little mini games here. As a matter of fact, this game was also, if you were at a GameStop on Saturdays during the summer, a guy would come in and set it up so you could try out the games. And I think this was one of the games that they were testing out because I got to play this game where you go on a London heist where you're like trying to escape off a highway and you're shooting at cops or something like that. It was pretty good, but the guy had to stop showcasing the game or letting people play it because they dropped a few F-bombs in that game, and parents weren't too happy with that. So yeah, parents were too happy with that. But I didn't get to play many of the mini games other than London Heist, Ocean Descent, and Danger Ball. The one I had the fun with most was London Heist because it was I think it was an on-rails first-person shooter. I forgot because I really didn't want to bother with it or like take the time out of my day to set up my PlayStation VR headset because setting that thing up takes, oh man, it's a little bit time-consuming, but yeah. The reason why I keep dismantling it is because I don't want like all these wires running across my floor and just making it look bad. Next we have Batman VR, which this game was hyped up before the PlayStation VR headset came out. I have not played this because I didn't get to charge up my my PlayStation Move controllers, and I don't think I even know how to charge up the controllers. So I don't have anything to say about this. So we're coming down. PlayStation VR demo disc. Now before I get to talking about it, I want to say that this is the first time in probably over a decade that I've seen a demo disc because back on the days of the PlayStation 2, before there were like online stores or stuff like that, you had to like go to a store and get a disc which had like maybe 10 or 20 minutes worth of gameplay on it so that you can showcase what game you want to get. A good example, I remember one demo disc I had. It was of Shadow of the Colossus or Eco. I forgot which one. Hold on, let me turn on the lights. Anyways, it had either Shadow of the Colossus or Eco, and those are some of my favorite video games of all time. So, and I have lost count of how many times I played I forgot which, oh man, I really did. But either way, those are great demo discs I had. I wish I had them again. Oh, well, actually, I want the full game, but still, just for the sake of nostalgia, I just want the demo disc. Finally, we're off to our last game, and I really wanted, it was intended to be the last game. I did it intentionally. I left it on the bottom of the pile. Anyways, it's Battleborn. This game is there. I remember they were hyping it up. It was made by the guys that made Borderlands, Gearbox, that's their name, and I think it was published by 2K Games. Anyways, Battleborn is this hero-based shooter where, well, I don't know, because I never even got to play it. Well, I did get into the menus and stuff, but I never got to play it. You know why? Because the player base dropped so much. That's how much the game sucks. The game doesn't suck. Well, you know what? I'm just going to not be politically correct about this. It sucked. But like, and not only that, but the trailer. If you look, there was this analysis video I'd seen. The trailer is somewhat similar to that of an Overwatch trailer. So I think they were trying to they were trying to be hot off the heels of Overwatch and try to capitalize off their popularity, but failed badly. So I don't have much to say about Battleborn except that I couldn't get into a server room because the player base dropped. Alright, moving on, we're going to move on to some more other titles. Now, I want to get this out of the way before, so we're going to do I have a few Shin Megami Tensei games. It's sort of a tradition. So, anyways, first up is SMT For for the 3DS. Now, the reason why I'm showing you the cart is because this is why. GameStop has done it again. So, anyways, what happened? The story with SMT4 is that you are a normal farmer boy, and you become a samurai. And then after this whole event happens, you go and travel to Tokyo, which is a huge, huge mess right now because some kind of crazy event. I don't want to give away too much because the story's too good to spoil. And you have to go into a Shin Megami game without knowing without knowing anything about it whatsoever. So play SMT4. It came out. Oh, it came out like 3 years ago, so make sure to go and give this game a try. Well, actually, hold on. I'm going to talk about the gameplay. The gameplay is similar to that of Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, where you go and have to exploit enemy weaknesses in order to gain extra advantages during your turn, like getting an extra move, you know. And if you're ever there's this thing called smirking. Whenever your demon or you are smirking, that means you're guaranteed a critical hit. And when you're guaranteed a critical hit, you get an extra move during your turn. So that's what I really like about that. It took what made the combat of SMT3 good, and then they just improved upon it with that. So all in all, SMT4 is a very good game. Oh, but that's not all. So my dad's girlfriend went and got me SMT4 Apocalypse, and with this game, I also got these little badges here. Here are the 3 badges. This one is from Dogda, one of the main characters of the game. This badge is for the Anarchy path. This badge is for peace. I really love these badges because they look so good. I just love them. Now on to the game itself. It's really, really awesome. A part of it remains unchanged, but there are still some gameplay elements and changes to the UI that make the game more convenient. That kind of like how some of the Pokemon titles are, and I have to say that Pokemon Moon is has one of the most convenient UIs in a Pokemon game I've ever seen before. So the story it takes place after the events of SMT4, which I'm not going to mention or make Mir mention at all. It's just you play as a new character, you have a partner with you, you know, stuff like that. You're exploring Tokyo. It's the typical SMT formula. Yeah. All right, so let's put this here. Next, we have Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth. Now, this is a dungeon crawler in which the cast of Persona 3 and Persona 4 get together, and they're trying to solve this mystery about what's happening at their high school because, oh, yeah, yeah, I care that much about the story because I don't want anyone to go and have the story spoiled for them. Now, what's cool is that the game actually allows you to take both paths instead of forcing you to have one save file and then delete it if you want to play as either the Persona 3 path or the Persona 4 path. Now in the Persona 3 path, you play as the main character who finally got his canon name after several years. I forgot his name, but they finally did it. And Persona 4, you play as the lead. His name is Yu Narukami, who was the lead of Persona 4, obviously. And yeah. Now, this is a dungeon crawler with a sort of pretty neat twist to it. Persona Shadow of the Labyrinth, as you move through the dungeon, you have to keep drawing the walls and you have to keep drawing what the dungeon looks like on the bottom screen of the 3DS. Now, at first, I was turned off by this because I thought it was trying to do something unique and then fail badly afterward. But after my time with Persona Q, I actually saw that it was a pretty neat mechanic for a dungeon crawler, and it's something that probably no other dungeon crawler can replicate. And it reminds me of how in the Silent Hill games, the protagonist of the game is always marking down his map, like what doors he's been in, what hallway he's been in, stuff like that. So next here is Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. I got this on the PlayStation 2 from eBay alongside another game, which I won't mention until I get to it. This game is a direct sequel to well, not a direct sequel because it's in the main line, but it's not like a direct sequel. The story's not related to it, but it's a sequel to SMT2, which came out many years before that. Because they were making Persona games on the PlayStation 1. They were doing some other stuff. And there was also this horrible SMT game that was about to come out, but it was canceled. Thank goodness. But anyways, the story is about the world, everyone on Earth, which is all 6 billion people at the time, being wiped out, and then you are the sole survivor, and you have to like do something with some demons and stuff like that. I know you had to defeat Lucifer himself, but I think that's what one of the characters said. But all in all, the story's deep and gritty, and it can get dark a lot of times too. Next, we have Persona 4. I got this alongside of a Nocturne for $16 on eBay, which is a pretty cheap find if you ask me. Persona 4, I don't need to explain the story to you if you're a fan of Persona. But if you're new to the Persona games, you want to get into it. It's about a channel called the Midnight Channel, and it's sort of an urban myth. With the Midnight Channel, if you watch it at midnight, and you'll see the face of some. Well, if you watch it on rainy night at midnight, hence the name, you'll see the face of the one you truly love. And in some cases, you'll either end up dead or missing. Most likely dead, but still. So you and your team are sent to investigate the Midnight Channel after rumors of it surface through high school and all that stuff. Now the game functions good as an RPG, and sorry, I'm just laughing at the back cover. There's like a Jack Frost on the back of it. You can't see it, but there's like right over there. So now let's move on to, well, I want to break off for a second. I want to talk about some PlayStation 3 games I got. So I wanted to get these games before I got my PS4 and just, add a little bit to my collection. So let's do this. First off, we have Blazblue Chrono Phantasma. This game took everything that made all the previous Blazblue games good and just ramped it up a bit. So first you have a new mode called Overdrive, which is a mode where you can deal extra damage on your regular attacks, and you can execute a special move that will, I forgot the name of it, but it obviously does more damage or some other twist with it. Now, the story, it's a BlazBlue game. I don't understand the story whatsoever. All I know is that it has to do with like the Azure Grimoire and Ragnar the Blood Edge, the main villain of the game. Well, he's an anti-hero actually. But Ragnar the Blood Edge, the anti-hero of BlazBlue, he has the Grimoire. Everyone wants to kill him and all that stuff. And he's an SS rank criminal in the 13th, well, actually in all the cities of hierarchy, whatever you want to call them. That's all I got from it. And all this other stuff with the lore. Thankfully, there's a little mode where you can talk to one of the characters. Her name is Lychee Fei Ling. She'll teach you about the world of BlazBlue and all that stuff. I haven't gotten around to it because I've been busy destroying other characters in arcade mode. So next is Metro Last Light. Metro Last Light came out in 2013, and it's a pretty neat horror action game, and it does things way better than Fear, which tries to be a horror game, but it sort of fails. I know it's mostly an action FPS game, but it has some horror elements that it tries to improve upon. But anyways, Metro Last Light is a game which the world is like annihilated by some nuclear hellfire, and it's kind of like Fallout, except everyone's underground, which is the last safe haven, because above ground there's all this radiation, all these weird creatures coming out and attacking and killing people and mutilating them. So they have to stay underground in order to be a safe haven. And in Russia they've established these beautiful societies underground until something happens. I don't know. But this is Metro Last Light is a sequel to Metro 2033, which came out on, I think, only on the Xbox. And Metro 23 is actually based off of a novel written by Dmitry Glukovsky. Dude, oh man, if you're Russian and I pronounced that name wrong, I'm sorry, but I don't want to, yeah. Sorry about that. Next is our final PlayStation 3 game for this video, Borderlands The PreSequel. Now I look at this game and I say, man, I really should have gotten the Handsome collection. But I remember when this came out in 2014, everyone was hyped for it, and I had my doubts about it, mainly because it took place on the moon. But then as I played it, I realized that it's that people have established societies on the moon and all that stuff. There's one hub world, pretty stuff like that. And the story's a bit confusing, mainly because I did not complete. Hold on. It's a bit confusing, mainly because I did not complete Borderlands 2 because I'm stuck on some main storyline mission, and I just didn't know where to go, so I gave up on it. So I rushed into this game, and I kind of regret doing so, but Borderlands 2 is a long game, and I kind of wanted to go into this game, get some buddies together, do some co-op, stuff like that. But all in all, they got some new weapons. They also have some new character classes too for character creation. I obviously play as the commando character or anyone that can like launch a turret in the middle of battle because, well, it's nice to do a little bit of extra damage with fighting alongside me. It's this guy has like these little I don't know what to call them. These little jets, not jets. They're I don't know, and they fly all around him. One heals your shield, and the other like goes around and does and fights enemies. But all in all, Borderlands The PreSequel is a pretty good game. I might go out and get Borderlands The Handsome Collection for the PlayStation 4 after I get enough money. So back to the PlayStation 2, we have Ratchet & Clank Size Matters. Now, my brother and I, we used to play this heavily on the PSP. We would have road trips. We would be on a road trip, and we'd pass the PSP back and forth, just taking turns playing the game and just being mad that we got destroyed by one single boss. And let me tell you, it's Ratchet & Clank, man. The gameplay is awesome. Third-person action at its finest. The story, I forgot the story because I hadn't played it in so long, but it has to do with this little girl who's on an island, and she's researching something with Ratchet and Clank, and I don't know. So, another game we have is Max Payne 2. This is a sequel to Max Payne 1, and it takes place right after the events of Max Payne 1. The story is about Max Payne falling in love with some kind of girl, with some girl, and then he's like regretting the death of some other girl. I haven't completed Max Payne 1 yet because my PlayStation 2's memory card, this thing needs 1130 kilobytes in order to run, in order to save. And well, my PlayStation 2's memory card doesn't have that much. And all these games around here, they take at least 100 or something megabytes. This game takes 1100, which was pretty odd to me, but I guess it's because of how much is running on the game. Not only that, but I think this is a port of the PC version because Max Payne started out as a PC game and then worked its way onto the PlayStation 2. But many people call the PlayStation 2 version inferior because of technical errors. And even I could see why people call it inferior because, well, the PlayStation 2 version, it runs badly, but it's still a good game altogether. Next is another game. This time it was ported from the PlayStation 2 to the PSP, and that's Marvel Nemesis: The Rise of the Imperfects. My brother and I, we'd also pass the PSP around, just taking turns of fighting our favorite Marvel heroes or supervillains. The main guy I like to play as was either Doctor Doom or Iron Man, mainly because of how hard-hitting their attacks were. However, I believe that the PSP version, I think, in my opinion, it's better because you're traveling around the map in third person on your own camera, and on the PlayStation 2 version, the game locks you and your opponent onto the screen. You can't do anything about it. You can run around the map, but not in third person. And to be honest, it should have taken the Dragon Ball Z route where you have your own screens and you're viewing from the third person. It might work in a way, but I don't know. Now, this game I got out of pure nostalgia because my sisters and I, we used to play it whenever we went to our aunt's house. True Crime: The Streets of L.A. We used to play this at our aunt's house on the original Xbox, and it's a really, really fun game. Well, not really fun, but because after I spent like at least 10 minutes with the game, I just remembered how clunky this game is because, well, oh man. As a matter of fact, I had to tool up all the controls to my liking, and that took me over 5 minutes to do. That's how clunky the controls were. And to make matters worse, the camera is permanently inverted. You can't change it whatsoever, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. But the camera is just stuck on inverted. I don't know why. It's just one of my pet peeves when it comes to video games. Now, the story, it's about this cop or something. I guess he was kicked off the department and he's rejoining. I don't know. I don't remember. But it's a pretty good open world game. It's okay, but it doesn't stand shoulder to shoulder to the early PlayStation 2 Grand Theft Auto games. So we're coming down to our final PlayStation 2 title. That is Final Fantasy X2. Now you guys may think I've wasted money because I already have X2 as a remake on the Final Fantasy X and X2 disc on PlayStation 3, but I just wanted to get this game just to have it. Not only that, but I haven't completed Final Fantasy X, and I still need to complete Final Fantasy X2 because the game is pretty long, and I need. Yeah, I have not. So yeah, I haven't touched this game mainly because I don't want any of the endings spoiled for me. As a matter of fact, I don't want anything spoiled for me for both games. So please, could you, if you'd be so kind as to refrain from making any comments of what happens in the story of Final Fantasy X and X2, that'd be great. So these are a whole lot of games, and I actually had fun with this video. We got some Shin Megami Tensei games, we got PlayStation 2 titles, some PS4 titles just to start me off. So we did pretty good. So I hope you guys have an awesome new year. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.